Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Moment at Moment's Art, and today the live session is all about the a little bit seascape. I brought this my own painting, my old painting, and for to show how to render a loose, very loose type of kind of a seascape. So let's start the class. Actually, I put this picture on the screen. As you can see, that would be. I'm gonna paint this today, and let's take this off from the screen. Let me go back to the software and. All right, so I'm gonna put that picture a little bit on the side. So, and I will take this down after like 10-15 minutes because I need to sketch and so you guys can see now. Okay, it's there on the screen, right on the corner of the screen you will see. And let's start the class. Actually, I have supplies. I have a small I think number 8 round brush. This is a nice gold brush, Chinese calligraphy brush. So I'm going to use this, a little bit masking tape, white paint for the highlights. Okay, mechanical pencil. You don't need to sharp. I will put in a separate video for the pencils and mechanical pencil, whatever I use in my drawing and sketching. So this will I will discuss later. This is just to know mechanical pencil with the razor, and you don't need to sharp. Then I have my dagger brush 5x6 sable blend made by Rosemary and Co. Very good brushes. I use it. If you want to use, you can use it. Fine. And this is I have a zero round brush for small work, very fine work. Although this is it doesn't retain a lot of water or color, but it's good for the highlights. Okay, so let's tape. I'm gonna put a tape. I'm gonna make this paper half because I don't need the full paper to paint. I will do some small washes on the side just for before we do anything on the paper. I would always suggest that uh, whoever start the painting, he must know something. Let's say if you're applying a paint here on the main painting and you want to see what's the effect of this paint, you can have a small portion of your paper just dedicated for that type of stuff. So even though you can put a line here like that, you put a line and then you can work here instead of applying the paint on the or the stroke or colors on the main painting, and then you get disappointed that you don't like that type of paint or wash or whatever, right? So that's how I work most of the time. I keep some portion of my painting open, and later on, all you can do, you can just go put a tape, like a small tape like this, and then you separate this portion of the painting for the small uh, testing area. Basically, that's what the best word is, the testing area. Okay, so let's draw this painting, and let me just put this on the screen. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, I can see that it's a small. I'm gonna keep. Uh, I will keep a little bit lower in the not in the top because this board is kind of pushed a little bit on the top. So I will bring it down a little bit, like into the more into the middle of the paper. So because this is the only subject we have, so we don't have much in there. So I will keep this a little bit more exposed and more kind of a little bit bigger, and rest is all washes, and it's supporting this board. So let's say the blue wash on the sky is supporting that board. Basically that's what it is. Okay, so here I'm sketching very roughly. I don't need to be very precise here because it's a very it's the approach in this painting. The technique is very loose approach, wet into wet. I will show you on the side how to work. This is all done into wet most of the painting, and then at the last few layers I did dried it up, and then I do the highlights and the ropes and all that, right? So you can do that also, or you can just let the painting dry, and then you can work with that also. It's whatever you feel comfortable you can do, but this is like I said, it's very loose approach. It's not a very realistic. It is, you can see that but it's not like a hyper realistic type of painting or realistic type of watercolor. It's a loose and very uh, casual type of watercolor. Okay, so here I put some horizon line here. I will use this kind of a little bit on my painting, and I'm assuming the light is coming from the left side. Okay, so because that's how I create that. This part is more darker and this side is lighter. That's what how you interpret your painting. So the light is coming from here, and everything is lit up on this side, on the left side, and this side will be a little bit darker. So here most of the sketch is done. Okay, and let's create some dark values here, a little bit stuff here and there. Actually, if you can notice that on the painting, I left some of my draft, which I do all the time. I don't erase the draft on my painting. So if you want, you can keep it also in your painting, no problem. But it takes when you erase that draft, right, it takes some dark values out of your painting. So be careful. If you see painting is almost finished and you erase this draft, what happened? It takes away some dark values also. And then you need to apply like a dark color or Payne's gray or something for get back those dark values, because these dark values are there. See that this pencil mark here, that it basically what happened when you do a watercolor is it starts smudging into the colors, right? So if and some areas you didn't paint, and then it shows, or maybe the layer the wash is so transparent it shows in the background. So what happened when you erase it, then the space get empty and you need to fill it out with something. Okay, so my sketch is done. Okay, very simple, very no complication here. You can draw, you can practice. If you have problem drawing the board, you can practice. Okay, and I will want to put a little bit mass here, so create more just for the composition, although it's not in my painting, but I will keep it a little bit for, let's hang the rope here, or maybe a flag here, like an old flag, because this boat is more like a old boat sitting on the beach or something. Okay, let's start my water. I'll keep the water here so at least you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to use again some Prussian blue, right? Maybe, you know what, I just use from the previous mix some colors. This way I can clean my palette also. This is just it's kind of I used a lilac last week and some burnt sienna in it, so I can use that color also, just so you don't need to be a very specific color. I would just use, if you want to paint along with me, you could use some Payne's gray, I mean like Prussian blue or French ultramarine, cobalt blue, ultramarine, whatever you have, you can mix with the, or you have a phthalo blue, mix with the cobalt blue, tone it down because phthalo blue or cerulean blue, these colors, Prussian blue, they are very intense type of color, so you have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so I'm doing the first wash with my gray wash, right? I just do, and keeping the white of the paper. You don't need to keep the white. You can use this later on with the white paint. But I try to keep it because it's a very good practice to do that type of work, and it trains you also, right, for the future paintings you do. If you can avoid it, you don't need to do, but for the practice, I would recommend try to keep that white of the paper. Even though, see, I'm here, I just drag my brush, so I get some dry brush marks. So that's how I work, and leave some dry brush marks so you can have some kind of a white space on the paper you could use for any other reason, right? Here, done. I have put some gray wash here. Now I'm going to grab some Prussian blue. Beautiful Prussian blue color. I will mix it up, tone it down with this gray color here, or maybe you can put some ultramarine blue, which is moved to my palette somewhere else. It dries up, although it made by Daniel Smith. It should retain the moisture, but unfortunately it running around in my palette. So these are expensive colors, so should not dry it up. Here I put some. See that water? It very good, and it working beautiful on this previous wash, and it working by itself. I don't need to do anything. See, all I did, I put a Prussian blue and a French ultramarine wash, and it works really good. It just going spreading, settling down with where the wet of the paper. Okay, the mass is kind of disappear, but don't worry, I will I will take care of it later on. We can use the here, and I will clean my brush. I don't want to go too much, and a little bit Prussian blue. Let's put some Prussian blue at the edge of this skyline, the horizon line, and that's it. I don't want to go because this is more like a loose type of painting, so I don't want to go too much in a detail in the background line. Now I will grab this previous mixes of raw sienna, yellow ochre, some burnt sienna. I will use it. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre. I have it in my palette, and I will start putting it right here at the edge of this board. A little bit here, there. That's this side of the board, and a little bit here. And then I will do some spatter like that. See that I push my brush and I see the spatter goes like this. You can see in the painting also, right? So here, and I will get this color very, that's how you do this spatter. Okay, so this will become a very loose type of effect in your painting. You can tilt the paper also. You can just go tilt the paper and let the color bleed. That another way of creating the effect, but I wouldn't go there. You can try it, and I will get this French ultramarine, put it here on the side, get some dark values. Let's use some cadmium red with the French ultramarine. Let's put some French ultramarine and cadmium red. Get a nice dark type of purple color. and I will put some here to get some dark value here so I can have more contrast in my painting. A little bit here underneath, or maybe here at this side of the board. Let the color bleed. It works really good when the color bleed. It's that type of painting. So I will put some dark value here in the horizon line. Let the color bleed. Let it go. Let this wash mingle with the Prussian blue wash and the French ultramarine wash, and let the painting evolve, by itself. You don't need to work very hard here. And since I have this dark purple color in my palette, in my brush, I will just go create a little bit dark values here. Just put the edge of the trim of the board, and I will smudge it once I have. So I'm going to leave this brush because I need more, now I need more control type of work. So I'm going to start working on this board. Let's put some a little bit more yellow ochre here. Just drop it a little bit. You don't need to do a full wash. Just drop it here, there, like that. Just put it a little bit here also. There. And don't do too much anything. If it's too much, it starts show. So here I get a nice cadmium orange in my palette. I will mix it up here, although I'm not supposed to mix here with the yellow ochre, but these colors are just going right. So I'm gonna clean my palette. You're not supposed to mix that type of intense color with but it's okay. I need a wash because I'm gonna work in the board now. So here, let's get this straight. I'm gonna start working on the board now. Have to be a little bit careful with when you're working on the board. So right, little paler type of wash. So I just, although I have some pigment left, right? So I would just use, that's how you change the consistency of the color, by just add some water, and this wash become this wash. So I just put a little bit and it becomes a lighter wash. So I'm gonna get some this purple color and just drop it here, just a little bit, drop it here, and it will work by itself. You don't need to push so much. And this wash, the same wash I will put, because the board is kind of the shape. I'm going with the shape of the board, so the board is kind of a little bit curved. So here at this edge, the light is not is kind of less exposed to the light, and then this side, soon as it turns, it exposed more. So here is more light, and here is a little bit more dark. Okay, not a little bit, yeah, I would say a little bit, because it's that part of the board, less light is going on this side. Okay, so here, let's put some dark value here, dark value. Now I'm gonna use the sepia color mix with my purple mix, and I will put some French ultramarine made by Daniel Smith. Nice transparent color. I like it. I use all the time in my painting. I don't use. I seldomly use the other colors in my painting, but this is I use all the time because this is such a nice color. The beauty of the French ultramarine is when you working on the sky and you put a blue color and then you put a French ultramarine and some yellow ochre or some cadmium yellow, it doesn't make the yellow color very green because it's very transparent, right? It's a transparent blue color. So here, okay, now I'm gonna go get some very uh, orange type, or cadmium orange. Just put a straight here on the tube because I need some kind of a more punch to my painting. Get some more, like a more contrast color wise, not a light wise, but the color wise I need some contrast. So I put a very straight from the tube, that color. Okay, now I'm going to go grab some cadmium yellow, and I will put in the cavity of the board to create more punch to my painting, a little bit more contrast with the color wise, right? And let's put some cadmium yellow here also on this part of the board. Okay, so now most of the painting is done. First, second wash. Now I'm gonna go work with the sepia color, get some of that purple mix, put some sepia so I can get a dark color, and I put this mask here. A little bit ropes are hanging. Since it's a rural scene, right? So I can get away with a small, uh, more loose type of approach on this painting. So here, let's put some dark value, more dark value, more dark, that hull of the painting, I mean the board. And I will bring some dark value here so it will expose the board more. Okay, so now I will put some harness here. I'm going to isolate that harness here instead of putting here because I need some kind of a shadow here for the rope. So I will put this harness here, and now you have to be very careful because this is the part you need to be a little bit careful when you do this the rope. So the rope is basically here. Now you keep your brush and you go quickly up to here. There you go. That's it. You don't need to do you don't need to have a stop here. You can do that also, no problem, but the faster is better. And if it is wispy type of mark, it's even better. So don't worry about it. And now I'm going to go do the shadow of the rope going into the board. See, it's a wet here, so it's not, it's kind of a not doing a very prominent mark here. So what I will do, I'll do it later. It's not no big deal. You don't need to do right away. You can do it later. Okay, so here let's put some more dark, a little bit dark here at the edge of this harness, and I'm gonna go with the little bit rope lay down on this surface also. Let's get some dark value, make this board more shallow because it's kind of a little bit coming down, so I don't want to do that. Get some more shape, more character to the board. Okay, so done. I think most of the painting is done. Actually, I'm gonna go work a little bit. Let's put some flag here. There's a flag hanging here. A little bit green color, something sitting here like a box or something, create more drama, more interest to your painting, right? And you can spread that color by just rub that, smudge that green color here, bring some more energy, maybe a net or fishing net or something sitting here, who knows. French ultramarine straight from the tube, a little bit dark, put it here so it create a little more depth into your painting. Okay, all right, so let me dry this painting now. I'm not going to work on the wet into wet because I need some white mark on the painting, and I will go and create some little bit. I'm going to work on with the white color, so I will dry the painting, right? And I will start with the white color and maybe a little bit more dark value, dark color, sepia, and French ultramarine mix, and create some more stuff in the painting because we have time, right? Now painting is almost done. I can do more. I can go put some French ultramarine and sepia mix here, create some more contrast by just see the light is blocking here, so this side of the board will be darker, and I will do the little bit graded wash here. So what happened, it dark here at the edge, a little bit more sepia, dark here at the edge because the less light is going, and soon as it gets here, see that this part of the board is more exposed. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing on the board. Go a little bit up and a little bit back here. So if I go and put some more dark value here, right at the edge, and then it get lighter, because that's how these graded wash works, basically what I told you in a previous classes. Because graded wash, it apply here. So I put a little dark wash here, and I get a little bit clean water, clean my brush, right? And then you do a little bit smudging here to make this wash more like a graded wash. It's dark, right? And you put some sepia and the sepia and French ultramarine, put it here, very dark mark, and then you start get the color, water, clean your brush, make sure it's dry, not too wet, and then you start smudging that color towards the where the less is exposed to the light. So that's how you apply the graded wash, basically, as you learned in the previous classes, right? So this is a very good example how you work with the graded wash. Now I'm going to do some jewelry work. I'm going to start working on actually I will do some work. Let me just start some doing here, right? Let's do the rope first, because I need to do the rope. And clean your brush, make sure the shadow of the rope is not too harsh, because I would just use some purple color and then you do a little bit shadow like that. So it creates some more depth into your painting, because if you don't do the shadow, then the rope, it doesn't show what happened when you do the shadow, that type of work. So it shows that the rope is hanging in the air. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then it won't show too much, right? It's okay. I mean, like, it will be okay, but this will beautify your painting when you do the shadow, and especially the light is coming from here, right? So I will do a little bit more, okay? And let's get some cadmium red and get a nice purple color, and then I will do a little bit shadow here on the board, right? Like, just create more light. Maybe some bump here is blocking the light, so I will block some of those part of the board, make it a little bit darker, because the light, when it coming here very low on a lower ground level, it will be some cast shadow here, so I put it here, okay? Now same purple color I have in my palette with French ultramarine, cadmium yellow, and I will put some here also, make it more, this side more darker, right? A little bit on the trim, I will put a little purple color, and here also a bit here, there, and I will get some, maybe a boat sitting here in the background, right? You can do anything you want as long as it's not composition wise is okay. Then I can put another boat here like that. Let's say put a boat here. Yeah, that's you can see in the picture in the video. A little bit more sepia color, make it a little bit dark, and then you do the clean your brush, make sure whatever color is in there, and then you can do another boat here like that, get a mask of the boat, and a little bit more sepia color, and drop it here at the edge of the boat. Create some more contrast to it. And if you want more contrast, or just put a little rope here, which I don't want to go into too much detail, because honestly it doesn't look very good. And you can put a little bit flag here, a green flag, not too much, right? So see that most of the painting is done very loose, and I spatter some color here in the foreground. Let's go zoom out a little bit. So I did some spatter here, and now what you can do, you can go dry this painting and you can work with the white paint and clean your painting, get some more contrast, more light. You can do all more work in it. Let me start working on this. Let's get this edge because this is too much. And now we can clean it up the painting a little bit. Okay, cadmium yellow. Let's get this Naples yellow I have in my palette. Use the Naples yellow. Too much cadmium yellow, so you can use any color you want. Let's put some Naples yellow at the edge of this board, other side of the board, because it's some light, it's a reflected light, right? So what happened when the light coming from here and then it goes here on the ground, probably you won't notice that what's going on in the background. So some light will reflect and it come back here on the board. So that's how you see some part of the board will be lit up here at this edge. And that's how it shows the light. That's how I keep it light here. This portion is dark, but this portion is light, right? So that's how you tell that the reflected light coming from the other side and going back into the board. Okay, let's get this white color, and we're gonna work with the little bit white color, and then if I see anything else need to add or delete, we can do that also. Let's get some white color. It's dried up. It's just it's all white color, so it dried up. Let's put some here. At the mass of the board, I will just put a little bit, not too much, because otherwise if you put too much and then it will show. So please just be careful. Don't do too much. Don't do less. Less is okay, but if you do too much, not good. Now this hardness here, I'm going to put a little bit white, here at the edge of the board, a little bit edge of the mass of the board, right? Now you can put a house here, or you can put some more stuff, but since we are dealing in here with the board and we're not here for other stuff, so here let's put a white patch here, patch here, and a little bit on the top of the rope, right? Just quickly here. There you go. So not too much, because the rope is some rope is exposed to the light and it casting some shadow. So you go and put right on the top of that black mark, not on the shadow, because shadow nothing to do with the, because this is the rope here. So I would put a little bit white color on the top of this black mark, right? So now I will clean my brush. Let me show you actually. I will grab some sepia color, because I delete some of the black portion of the rope. I will go add it up a little bit more here. So that's how you show that that's how you create the depth into your painting. And now I can go put some, like just some stuff on the board or something, right? Here, let's go clean it up here, because this two part of the board is kind of a little bit not uh, exactly same, because I apply some white color. So here, what time is it? So we have time actually. Let's do some more white color on the top of this rope here, and maybe something in the background. I don't want to explain too much, because this is our more kind of a loose approach type painting. So let's put some here. The white color expose the edge of the board, because it's exposed to the light, right? And that's it. So this is how you render a very simple do the sketch, right, and then you create some. If you want, you can go, you can create more contrast by the colors, right? Like I can put some more cadmium orange, and I will go clean it up more and make it those marks of the splinters on the board. You can do that also if you want. You can go more like that, the like this. So you can do that also. There's no problem, but I would keep it simple as possible. Don't make it too complicated. Keep it very simple painting, and yeah. Let's get some cadmium red. Put it here on this board. Let's create some more like a line or something on the board. And now I will lastly, which is not in my other painting, which is original painting, I will go put some seagulls by add some white color, and the dark color you need to expose any white subject or anything you're creating. Put on the dark color. Otherwise, if you put on the white color, it's not gonna show, right? So here, one seagull here, and maybe I will put one more seagull here like that. Very simple. Let me just zoom in here. So let's put another one. I don't want to do too much. See that white here? I can use this white for this seagull here. Let's let's do this white patch for the seagull. There you go. Okay, so there was a patch on the paper, and let's get some sepia color, mix it up with my purple color, and mix it up more purple color because we might need. And then I will put a little bit dark color because the light is coming from here, right? So it will be uh, casting some shadow these birds. uh, Dry your brush, not too much water, otherwise it will create a little problem for you. So keep the brush water as light as possible. If you put too much water, then what happens? It will spill on the paper, and then these small subject, right? You try to paint, it will be a challenge for you, and it create a little bit problem for you. Okay. Now the last, I will go zoom out a little bit here and get some water in my brush, and then I can do some more spatter. If you want, you can do more spatter like this. See, you jerk the brush, and what happened? It create a nice spatter like this, like that. So you can do that also. You can take some yellow ochre, that wash, we mix it a little bit previously, right? More water, load your brush with a lot of water, and then you do spatter like that, right? You do spatter like that. So that's how you do spatter with the kind of, and don't you leave it. If you think, okay, something is not working, or you can just always spread with the brush, it's fine. But let it dry here, and then it works really good, and you will see the effect very mature after you finish the painting. So it looks dark right now. Let me dry this up quickly. Let's go. I'm drying this painting a little bit. Okay, so I think it's a lot of water, right? So it's taking time to dry up. And yeah, it's the painting is almost done. If you need more energy to your painting, you can go grab some the orange color, the cadmium orange, and you can go and start putting this cadmium orange very carefully on the board, right? Otherwise, it will lose the what you started for, right? So I would just go. You can go and just very transparent type of color. You can use glaze it and bring some more contrast to your painting like that. And then you can go a little bit sepia color with a small brush. And then you can put a little bit underneath, just the edge of this trim, right? It will create a nice like a depth, in your painting. A little bit more color and clean it up a little bit. Let's see this white other things. I can just go, since I have time, right? I can go clean this up a little bit, here and there, and I will put some like a grass or something because I have time, right? And now I finished the painting, so I will put some random stuff here and there. But just using the dark color I have in my palette, so I can create more texture, more interest in my painting here. More dark color, a little bit dark here at the edge. See that I put a white color, so I can use something here at the on this board, and I will put some dark value against this board so it create a nice depth into that board because they see that white is here. Soon as you put a dark value against it, it create a nice like it's just the light and the depth into your light is coming from here and it create a nice depth into your painting. Here let's put some dark value here and then a little bit grass here there since I have the time. If somebody have a question, you can put down in the chat. I can answer your question because since I almost finished this painting and I'm just playing with this painting so I can get some more contrast, more, right? If you have any question, let me know. So this is, I think this is, I will stop here because, and let me go check if somebody has a question about this and I can answer. Let me zoom in meantime so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay. All right. So here, so far, no questions. And what kind of paper? Okay, this is the a good question. A very good question. I didn't explain in the initially should explain, but this is a 100% cotton rough surface, right? And has a if you feel it with your nails, you can feel it. It's a rough 100% cotton cold press made by a company called Fabriano. Say call Fabriano. Let me just write it down here at the edge. Let me write down here so everybody can see. It's called Fabriano. Now this is the paper I use. That's what paper I use all the time, and I don't use very seldomly. I use the Arches sometimes, and I use uh, ripple paper and 100% cotton cold press. And it's 120 pound. I don't know what's the GSM value here, but this is how I 120 pound. Fabriano 100% cotton. The brushes I use is a Rosemary and Co. And that's a dagger brush I use all the time. I will put a link next time in the video so you guys can see and go and check it out. If you interested, you can buy it. It's up to you. I use these brushes. I like it, and I get used to it. If you want to spend some money, and these are expensive brushes, so if you want to use that, fine. It's up to you. Maybe it works for you. It works for me, so I'm happy with these brushes. And the paper I use is not too expensive paper, and it's not very cheap paper. It's a good value what paper is offered, right? And so you can use that also, the Fabriano, or if you have some other choices, you can use some other paper also, okay? And so here, but use one paper and certain brushes all the time. If you use switching papers and brushes, and you think, okay, my painting is not going forward, my work is not getting better, it may be the supplies. Trust me, sometimes it's not the supplies. I mean, not all most of the time it's not a supply. It's just for you to practice more and get more understanding how the watercolor works. So if you keep changing the supplies and you think, okay, this will work, this will not work, yes, paper is the most important. So the second is the colors, right? And the third is the brushes. So first is the surface, what were you working on, right? That most important. Then you work on you need decent colors, like not like a very chalky type of color. You need a good pigment, right? And so it brings more contrast in a very less amount of paint you put on the paper. Then third is the brushes. You can go and choose which brush works for you. Basically, watercolor brushes are designed to retain more water into the brushes. If you have a other brush, let's say you have a sable, the synthetic brush, and is working for you, but you need to go back and forth so many times, because this won't allow you to go. See that I have this brush, it retains so much water, right? If look at this, see how much water it gets out. Now the brush is gone too. I squeezed so much. Anyway, so look at this, how much water it has. Now it still have some water, right? If I squeeze it, there's still water. So that's good about the watercolor brushes. It retains more water, and the other thing is it's very soft, so you can get a very nice and soft wash. But the rest is the watercolor work by itself on the surface. It is a self-leveling medium. More when you pushing too much and you try to make it watercolor works, it doesn't work. So you make sure that you let the watercolor work by itself. You do the washes as long as you understand where you want to keep a light wash. Like see here, I put a very light wash. Here I purposely left some dark patches here because I need some dark value here because of the composition point of view, right? And I need, because the light is coming from here, so I kept this portion of the painting light and this portion of the painting dark around the board, right? So it create more contrast in my painting. Instead of putting a dark here and light here, you can do that also, it's not a problem. But since the light is coming from here, I kept this portion of the painting light, and this portion is a little bit darker. And then rest is done by the watercolor. When it start drying, it works till at the when it is dry. So now the other thing I want to discuss quickly about this painting, you can see that some granulation builds up automatically by itself. I didn't do anything. I didn't put any special solvent or anything. So look at the beautiful texture here because of the paper. Paper is more has a uh, rough edge, so rough surface, so it create a little bit puddle here, and it create a nice granulation type of texture here on my painting, which people, they use a solvent, they always ask me how this happened, because it's French ultramarine is so transparent, and I mix it up with the Prussian blue. Prussian blue is more opaque, right? So although it's not very opaque, but those two color, when you mix, and you mix another third color, let's say yellow ochre, which is more opaque, and it start making puddle on the paper itself. And then look at this. This is, let me go zoom in. I'll show you actually what's going on the paper here. There you go. See that color settle down in those small grooves, right? So this is what the granulation is. Simple. You don't need, and if you spread too much, so what happened? You are making the surface of the paper kind of deteriorating the surface of the paper. So then you don't see these type of texture on your painting. Because, but if you do a very light wash and something like that, then you will see the granulation effect is right there. And what else I can discuss here? I think this is it. So you can see that a very small watercolor, loose type of watercolor, done very quickly, and very. I do some spatter, so you can do that also and create a nice small watercolors with the very minimum effort, minimum colors, and yeah, that's it. All right, so I hope everybody understand today's class, and you hopefully you guys get some. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, what kind of paper? I answered the question. So, like I said, if you guys have any other question, please let me know. Leave in the comments, and I will answer your question. So, let's end this class. Today is a lucky day. I finished the class on time because it's not a big painting, right? So now see that these colors are drying now. Let me just refresh my screen. Looks like it's pausing or something here. Okay, so now you can see that it's drying, and it get a little bit paler. So once the washes get dry, it get paler. So I purposely put a little bit dark, but it's get lighter. And now you can see that I put some more dark color here. It get sepia color is, you have to be a little bit careful, because sepia color, if you take straight from the tube, not too much color in it, not too much water in it, sorry. And what happened, it create a little bit trouble for you, because it has a it doesn't evaporate, and it create a little bit dark mark on your painting. So you need to be a little bit careful, be mindful of that, because if you put some color and like sepia color on your painting, then it will have some creates a problem for you. Okay, dark color, sepia color, it stays on the paper. It won't get light because it's a very straight from the tube, right? If you mix it up with the water, then it won't stay as dark as it should be, right? Like, see, right now I use a lot of dark colors here in the cavity of the bone, so it's still staying dark, right? Which is okay. If you think, okay, it's too dark and you don't like it, you can always lift some color, right? You go put some water on the brush, and you can lift it up. That's not a problem. And then you just go with your paper towel. See, I wet the surface with my brush, and you can lift it up. There you go. That wash is gone now. If you think there's a dark here on the board, or you see dark here, or maybe dark here at this type of the board, you can go and spread the color. You can make your sketch look more better if you want. You can do so much stuff. You can spread the color. You can do a little bit more. do the board more shallow, right? Uh, and yeah, this is basically you're doing a sketching on the with the brush. So here, let's do some clean up here, clean it up a little bit here, there, and that's it. So you can do so much, but like I said, be careful. You don't want to do too much, otherwise the painting will be look like a overwork painting. All right, so I'll finish the class. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you like the video, and please subscribe the channel. And every Sunday I do until the spring I will keep some random type of painting like that, right? So I'm not gonna do maybe next week. I was planning to do acrylic painting today, but I didn't organize myself for the acrylic, so I start doing the watercolor again. So next week will be until the spring session. The Sunday class will be strictly on watercolor, and it will be a cityscape, seascape, and landscape. So that would be three subject matter in the on watercolor classes on Sunday, and then Friday I will start the acrylic class. But next Sunday I will do acrylic class, a small landscape painting, which is related to my classes here in Toronto. I teach landscape painting class in Richmond Hill, city of Richmond Hill. On Thursday, if somebody wants to join, if somebody local on the channel, you can go City of Richmond Hill website, and you can register for the landscape acrylic landscape class. Also, I teach a watercolor class in City of Richmond Hill on Saturday. If you want to join my watercolor class, you can do that also. Also, I teach in City of Toronto also on Thursday. Thursday is strictly a watercolor class, and Friday I teach in the evening in a spring session a portraiture class. If somebody wants to do a portrait or drawing in a sketching class, he can join me on Thursday in Toronto. And yeah, that's it. So I kind of a little bit busy schedule. So, but Friday and Sunday class will be. I'm gonna keep going with those two classes, and if you want to join, you can come and join me on those classes also locally. Okay, so I'll finish this video. I'll end the stream, and I'll